Welcome to our reality, everyone. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are because today we are going to be going over a lot more of Big Brother 27. We have, in fact, about 10 days worth of Big Brother 27 to catch up on. The last time you saw us, we saw Zay evicted out of the house, and now we have to talk about a whole other week of Big Brother plus another half a week. We saw Amy go home on a unanimous vote on Thursday night after Jimmy's HOH reign, in which we saw two powers being played. We saw one Big Brother alum return to the house in a competition hosted by another Big Brother alum. And then we saw an HOH competition this week with two more Big Brother alum. We have so many people to talk about, including the alum that is in the house currently playing still in Rachel Riley. But with all of that, we have new alliances, two sides maybe being formed. We have a veto ceremony that is quite literally currently underway, and we don't really know who is going to be the replacement nominee and who the final three nominees are going to be at the end of the week. So all of that and then some we have to catch up on today. After missing out on Thursday night, I know everyone was disappointed, but we're here now in our random Monday daytime podcast that I can't remember the last time the sun was out and we actually did a show, so this is weird. But if you're joining us for the very first time, we are live here on YouTube right now. Feel free to hop in the chat. Glad y'all are here already. I see you, Jameson. Jameson, we did it. We're here. We're live. And Julie the Human, it is not 9:30 p.m. It is currently 1:05 p.m. Central Time. It's very weird indeed. But my name is Barrett. If you're joining us here for the very first time, I'm here with my two esteemed Big Brother colleagues, the Nick City and the Zach Perez, as we encounter a very, very weird season and another week and a half of discussion where it's going to be a mess. So if there's timestamps below by the time you're watching this, feel free to click around. There's going to be a lot of talk about everyone here. But Nick, I'm going to come to you first since you're up here on the top row with me. My question to you is very simple since it's been 10 days since we've last talked, and it's very vague but also very specific. And just what is this season, Nick?
Chaos, I feel like. And I don't mean chaos in like there's just so much happening, I feel like, all the time. It's very hard to keep track of everybody. I feel like if I did not watch the feeds and I only watched the episodes, I would have no idea what was actually going on. So, yeah, this season has been a lot, but it's been like good, a lot. I'd rather it be too much than too little, especially in the beginning. So it's setting it up for, to me, these last few days, in my opinion, have set the season up. And I think it's going to be really good. Like, I think we're setting the stage essentially, and this whole season is going to just be like crazy because I feel like everybody is there to play the game for the most part. And yeah, it's just been like a lot of fun to watch all go down live.
All right. That is a lot kinder words than I see a lot of people saying about this season so far. So that was very refreshing, first off. But you were right in the sense that everyone is here playing the game. The way in which they are all playing it is very different.
Yeah.
But in a way, entertaining. And I can't wait to dive into that and maybe differentiate some of those opinions and go into that. But Zach, I'm going to come to you. Very same question. 10 days of action. We've had another eviction. We've had two more HOHs. How are you feeling about this season and exactly what is it? What is going on?
I mean, it is nonstop, honestly. These players are, some of them are definitely here to play. Others, not so much, or just are wanting to say they want to do something and then don't do it. And then whenever they want to play, they just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And it's just like, if you, it's a lot of passive people who are playing passively being put in power positions, and even people who say they don't want to play passively then doing passivity. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it's one of those weeks. It is one of those weeks.
One of those weeks could be one of those seasons. I'm excited to see, where all that turns out. But great. I think we should, from there, turn to a little bit of last week, because obviously we left off on Zay's eviction, which feels like a lifetime ago to me. I don't know if it does for y'all at this point. So after that, we didn't know who was going to even win HOH, but we saw Jimmy win HOH. We saw the powers come into play. So we can go over that. I know we are well past that at this point in the game, even just halfway through the next week. So we won't waste too much of your time talking about week 2 and all the things that got involved there. But we will have a brief overview just with the powers, who got evicted. We'll talk a little bit about Amy, and then we'll move on to this week. So Jimmy's our HOH. We saw Kelly, Keanu, and Will all hit the block. We also saw Adrian hit the block. At the end of the week, we saw Adrian win the Big Brother Blockbuster. I still have to make sure that is the name every time I say it. And then we saw Amy go home on a unanimous vote, 13-0, actually making Amy the house guest with the most collective votes ever in a season of Big Brother against her, which I would have never guessed would have been the case. So that was 18 in total between the 2 weeks, which okay, cool record Amy now has. So we see the secret accomplice go, not in week 1, but in week 2. So Rachel almost got the accolade of sending home a saboteur in the first week, 2 seasons in a row for her. Or I guess not 2 seasons in a row, but 2 separate seasons. But let's talk about the powers, I think, before we talk about Amy's eviction, because we had 3 powers that we saw get distributed during the HOH competition, but also we saw 2 of them get used during the actual week. One of them was Keanu's power, where he was able to use it during the veto competition, which brought a Big Brother alum into the game with him to compete in the veto, which in the veto this week, since Keanu was nominated, he used his power, and Casey Clark was the player that showed up to help him in the veto competition. And Casey Clark ended up winning this veto competition, where very similar to competitions we've seen in the past, you have to keep in a still position on one side of the backyard, waiting for a code word to pop up. You run across, last person gets eliminated. That would be crazy. And then we move on, so on and so forth. That competition was hosted by Felicia, which great to see Felicia again. But talking about this power in particular, because I feel like I've rambled long enough about it and everyone else is kind of aware of what happened, I'm sure, if you're watching this podcast. So, Nick, I'll come to you first again. What did you think of this specific power that Keanu had? And of course, I don't have the name pulled up of what this power was called, but it brought back Casey Clark, and just how weird it was that he could have used this in multiple weeks down the line if he wanted to. So just talk about that, how weird this power was. And Zach, of course, you'll get your points next too.
So I was not the biggest fan of it because it literally just felt like a hack. Like, it felt like he put a cheat code into a game and it gave him the power veto. Like, Casey Clark, are we kidding? Like, hello, she's been on the challenge. She's won the challenge. Super athletic. She was a football player. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it just felt like, here you go, Keanu. Like, it just felt like there was no competition. So it felt a little like too much, I guess, in my opinion. Just specifically because it was Amiibo vet player. Yes, it was very like video game-ish to me, and I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, no, Zach, go ahead. What did you think about this power in particular?
I mean, it really brings in a whole bunch of what ifs. So we all know Casey does not watch feeds, mind you. We all know Casey is not a Big Brother fan. As in, like,
she has no idea who they even are. Like,
exactly.
She just
But
came in and was like, woo, like, that was it. Like,
I gotta win for my boy Keanu. Do you even know his name? Like,
no.
Or do you think it's Keanu from freaking The Matrix? But anyway, this brings in the fact, well, what if, say, I don't know, who's a big time Big Brother fan that's won and still is a fan? I don't know, like Cody. Like, I feel like he has to be a fan to do his whatever. But, like, say if you brought in Cody, or like, I don't know, Michelle, or not Franzel, I don't know, like, or Janelle or something. Say if you brought in someone like that, are they still? I feel like if someone actually knows what's going on in the game, what happens if they're just going to throw it? That's like a waste of a power. And also, the same breath, like what Rachel was talking about. Oh, if it's so and so, I'm definitely gonna tell them, hey, throw in. And like,
Please, that was so funny. The fact that she thought she could pull that off. Like,
Even
mean, what if
just
she
vocal
did?
in the backyard, just don't win. Like, what is she gonna do?
like, what if there was just
and
someone
Casey's
who,
just gonna be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because Rachel
got
said
you,
so.
yeah.
Like,
and
so funny.
not only that, we're gonna bring back Casey. Ugh, so boring. Like, come on. I feel like it's very very what's it called ironic that she was dressed up as a plant, because that's pretty much what she was her whole season. I'm tired. Like, I tell you, the thing that I was dreading the most whenever I saw her on my screen was literally her saying those two words that I cannot stand for the life of me. I hate them so much, and I hate it because even on 21 they kept on repeating it over and over again, and it's like, come on, stop. Enough. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear her yelling. I don't want to see you. I cannot stand Casey. Casey is boring to me. You want to talk about boring feeds? Bring Casey back on. That's boring. I cannot stand the woman. I don't want to say I hate her, but Casey is just so annoying. Ugh.
Okay, so Zach didn't like the power is really what we
I
could probably
guess
summarize
so.
there.
Damn.
Thankfully, Zach, you didn't have to watch Casey on the feeds. It was just the competition.
Yeah.
And you
She
didn't
wasn't
really
coming
see.
into the house.
She didn't really even make an appearance other than like 2 DR little bits and just winning.
That
the
was
competition.
too much.
Yeah.
And also, Jameson does bring up a good point, because people were saying, because they were asking Keanu like, what, an hour or 2 hours before the veto or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. This is the really weird part. that I
And
don't
like,
understand
so
still.
they could only bring back people who lived in L.A. So
Yeah.
Casey, they're gonna bring
I
back
didn't even,
Lisa
like,
again.
Think of that. That's so funny.
Yeah, you have to bring back a Big Brother competition beast, you know, that's gonna like I know Julie
Oh
said double your
my-
chances. So you have to bring someone who could theoretically like actually win the competition, or they know that they can win the competition, or have the ability to. Also, I want to say, Martha, so glad you're here. Martha said that she never gets to check us out live. So this 1 p.m. podcast, Martha, glad you got to show up for it. But yeah,
That
it's
is
really
so
weird that
funny.
that they could have used it multiple weeks. And they theoretically could have brought back somebody for that veto competition. And it's like, so like, I just wonder, like, did it take coordination just to be like, we need different people to be like, are you available if we ask you last second? But that just seems unreasonable. Like, it seems so weird to have
I
that.
literally didn't even like think of this. Like, what happens if like Kiana wants to use it in like 3 weeks and Casey's like on vacation? Like, what happens?
Yeah.
She's
Who
not
are
doing
they
anything.
calling?
Well, yeah, who's gonna go on TikTok live now? Oh no.
Girl, I'm saying, who are they calling to come in and do the competition if Casey's
Nobody's
busy?
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna bring back Lisa. She lives near LA.
see that, but the thing, Lisa won what, the
will
spelling
Lisa double
competition? in
Keanu's
that-
chances of winning the competition?
That's
like
the thing.
power
Like,
says?
you can't just go and bring someone who wasn't like an actual competition beast, which Lisa did win a competition, but and they have brought her back
That
to,
is
for another
so
one. So.
interesting. I'm sorry, I like did not even like think of that at all. But like that's so true. Like,
No, it's
what
weird.
the hell happens? Like, was Casey just on standby the whole summer? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
whenever
Casey
we
has
need
to
you,
just
gotta
be
come.
like living next door to the lot, and
She's
just
in
being
that
like,
house
I'm
that
ready.
like Will was in for that like 2 episodes that he was living in the
I just
backyard. or
imagine
whatever.
her. I just imagine her being like what she was whenever the competition was over. She's like, "Hello, can I leave?"
That's the thing. Like, is Casey just waking up every day being like, like CBS owns me at this point. I have to just do whatever CBS says, and they put me on whatever show they want, and then I just show up. So
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
because people were talking about like, oh, maybe it's Tucker, and Tucker was in New York or something. CBS does not have the money to
Yeah.
like fly someone out an hour before or something like that. So
Yeah.
Crazy. They're like, get on the flight. No, don't. Actually, wait. He might change his mind. Like,
Dylan brings up that they just put Casey on a good, or like, yeah, just like on a good amount of money to be on call for 5 weeks. Maybe it was something like that to be like, hey, we may need you. Would you be available for these 3
Right.
weeks to block off just in case, you know? And she's also in the area. So maybe there was just a way that they worked out. But it's so weird. It's so weird that
Imagine
is
if it
how
was
they
someone-
set this up.
imagine if someone like Izzy or Lauren who are like, maybe I should use it. No, wait,
Maybe.
no, let's not. Wait, we'll wait. No, wait.
Wait.
I'm gonna use it.
Maybe that's why we're seeing Felicia and the.
Yes, yeah. There's
They
a
were
lot.
also
Yeah,
on
we're getting a lot of
standby in
alum.
case.
Yeah, coming back. Felicia was coming back for the tiebreaker comp, just in case.
Exactly.
I was hoping that I was like, what if they just gag us and be like, Jerry comes back.
Oh yes, for this competition specifically, yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
But in any case, Casey won the power veto, handed it to Keanu. Keanu's power worked perfectly. And if we fast forward, spoiler alert, to another week later, we see Keanu saving himself yet again with the veto 2 times in a row. So we cannot get Keanu out of this house, whether it was last week or this week. There was something else I wanted to say about this veto power. Oh, I thought it was interesting that like when Keanu was reading the rules of his power and stuff, he was just like, wow, I wonder who it could be. If it could be like, I don't know, Michael from BB25. It could be Casey from BB20. It could be Cody from.
24.
And I was just like, did he know these names? Like for that he? Because I get the vibe
He
that
did
Keanu
not.
does. Like,
I was like, the DR definitely told him to just like, maybe those were all the people they had on standby. Those
Yeah,
people that he
maybe.
listed. Okay, maybe we clocked it, but maybe those were like the people that they were like, okay, it could be any of these ones depending on what week he uses it.
yeah. Yeah,
But-
they had different weeks for different people,
Right.
just based on the competitions that they're doing. Maybe so. That seems like a lot of thought that they don't usually put into those kinds of
Yeah.
twists. But I don't know. Nevertheless,
I definitely had the same thought though, because I was like, he has no idea who these people are. Like, there's no way.
I don't think so. From everything he said to Rachel later in the week, the big blow up that they had after Keanu was like, I watched your season. Now let me name every example of like when people made fun of you, and how funny I thought that was and how iconic it was. That thing.
What did I say?
Yeah, what did I do wrong? Where'd my hug at? I like it was all of that with Keanu just exhausts me. He can be entertaining though, I will say. But he does give like I don't mean to turn this into a Keanu discussion, but he does give off like I watched a clip show, like he literally has confessed because he stands up in veto
Yes.
ceremonies and says, I'm coming after you one by one by one by one. I wonder what clip he watched that inspired that.
Right.
But whatever. Let's talk about the
clip?
other powers. We have Kelly's next to talk about, which was also used. Kelly had an extra veto that she could potentially win if she won another competition to use at the veto
Jinkies.
ceremony. Yeah, very much a Leah situation from last year that we saw in Janky World, where you get the opportunity to have an extra veto to play if you win said competition before the veto ceremony. And it was not, this was harder than Leah's competition, but Kelly actually won it this time. Another puzzle to do in front of everybody, which would be the worst part of that, knowing that everyone is watching in the living room, my personal opinion. But she completed it in 2 minutes or less, so she had the extra veto to use at the veto ceremony. So Keanu uses the veto that he got using his power to take himself off. Kelly uses the veto that she won with her power to take herself off. We see Adrian and Amy as the renoms. I'm sorry, Adrian and Will as the renoms. And of course, all that leads to Thursday night, Amy going home 13-0. Let's talk about Kelly's power real quick, though. And we probably will not discuss this as much since we've seen this power play out before, or we've seen it at play, at least, or be offered. Kelly defeats the Caitlin Herman puzzle curse and takes herself off the block. Kelly's safe for another week. I think this is also a good opportunity just to talk about Kelly in general and who she is in this game because, going back to the cast reveal podcast that didn't get actually published. I don't know what that was, Zach, exactly. But
What? How did this happen?
Did you not see?
no, I'm sure it was a
her
reference,
events?
but I'm sure it was a reference. I don't
That
remember what it
was-
was though at the moment, just off of that.
Well, did you not see her and Vince talking like you're my or you're like my kitten or something like that or like animal, and she's like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr, rawr."
I okay, no, I didn't see that, but
I did
no.
not. And I
I'm
don't
gonna
think I
I'm gonna go
want to.
find that once y'all start talking about this power. But Kelly's power, what did you think of it? What do you think of Kelly in this game in general? I feel like is a better question because I don't know if this power speaks to her game as much. Because Kelly's gonna win whatever power she can, and Kelly's gonna offer herself to go on the block. Kelly's just gonna do the Tucker game in her version, which is exactly what she wants. She's talking about being an instigator every chance she gets. We already know what her BB comic is going to be. Fine. And so, well, actually, he was Tucker was the instigator. Kelly can't also be the instigator, so it'd probably just be like a Tucker reference, maybe. But Kelly, what's going on with Kelly? What's up with Kelly? Because it's Kelly and the boys versus everyone else in her mind, and we hate Rachel, and everything Rachel does is against her. But Zach, you go first. Talk about Kelly. Talk about this power if you want, but do whatever you need.
The power, I mean, we've seen it happen before. It's basically just an extra veto. And like, I mean, it's okay. There have been worse. The puzzle was very easy, I feel like. But you know, people be like, well, you're not under pressure and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't care. It was easy. Like, okay. You know, and you know, the Scooby-Doo vibes of the puzzle. Overall, I mean, it's an okay power. Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind the fact that everyone knew, even though she thought it's gonna be a shock or something like that. And it's just like, everybody knows. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also to say that, just to interject, and because I haven't brought this up yet, the HOH competition in which we saw all of these powers get won was completely gamed by Jimmy after he won the HOH power, where he just parked himself next to where all the other powers were going to be claimed so he could figure it out, and literally helped Kelly put the power of veto into the slot as we saw play out. I think there's the picture of that. So Jimmy's just parking by, just waiting, and of course we end up seeing Zach figuring out that Mickey has the other power as well. So it's kind of gets ruined for the mystery of this power of veto. But please keep going, Zach.
But there have been worse powers, I guess. I mean, This is fine. But Kelly, I just don't understand her. Like, I don't know if she understands, like, you know, you don't get a prize for getting nominated so many times or anything like that. No. She's perpetually made herself the pawn pretty much in every scenario, and she's winning all these competitions, which Tucker is a different story. Tucker had social capital. Kelly does not have social capital for the life of her. I feel like in any scenario, unless it's something the house decides, I feel like she's just going to be like, well, let's just send her home. Why not? So I don't understand her. Like, she's doing things, although one of these days she's going to get taken out. I just don't understand.
Like Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, to make the argument, Kelly, for as much as she wants to be Tucker, is accidentally playing exactly like Tucker and winning the competitions that she needs to, like Tucker, and it's annoying me that she's doing it. But you know, I asked the question, like, why the hell is Kelly on this cast, after reading her interviews with Mike Bloom and watching his videos, because she didn't know anything. She didn't seem that interested in competitions. She didn't seem that interested in playing the game or knew what it was. So I was like, why is Kelly here? And I guess it was this. I guess it was just like, this is what they wanted her to do. And it's kind of entertaining, but she's not very useful to anybody at this point. So it's like, she could still easily they could get rid of her because she's so not aware of anything that is going on around her, or how she relates to other people, or how other people feel about her. It's just, let me win everything and I hate Rachel, it seems. And then also I'll hang out with the guys, I guess. And then that's Kelly's game right now. So take what you want from it. I'm sure it's entertaining from a casual perspective, but like, I don't know.
I don't even think that. I don't know. I actually need to ask my casual friends what their opinions have been, because I normally always have to ask them. But I feel like a lot of people I know don't like Kelly. Like, even people who aren't like super hardcore like feed watchers, like, don't like Kelly. He's like, why are you not like volunteering to go up like over and over and over and over and over again? What are you doing? And it's not like, I don't know, to me it didn't make sense when Tucker did it, but like Tucker was kind of like charismatic about it and was able to like, I don't know, it felt like he was playing very ballsy, and it doesn't feel like Kelly's playing ballsy to me. It feels like Kelly is like just being a pawn. Like, that's literally how it feels like. Tucker like goes up there with like a plan of like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna win the veto and take down Angela. Like, it's like he goes up there with an intent. Kelly just wants to go on the damn block. Like that's what it feels like. Like it's not the same thing. And then she just wants to be Tucker so bad because in her opinion or in her mind, I guess, it's like Tucker just kept volunteering to go up and he would win things and it was cool.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
all it takes.
there was so much more to what Tucker was doing than just that.
Yes, well, yeah. Tucker was also the social king of the house. I mean, everyone is in love
Right.
with Tucker. You know, we just went to a party where everyone was around Tucker because he just exudes the energy. You know, and so
And
it's
he
like,
also volunteered to go on the block there too.
yeah, exactly, yeah. We're like, that's not how it works. And but Kelly, yeah, Kelly is like, just put me on the block because I think that's just how this is supposed to work. Whereas Tucker was like, put me on the block because I don't just do it. I mean, like, I don't really like I'm gonna win. Whereas Kelly, it's like she's doing it, but you could tell like maybe there's like a 5% of the back of her head that's like, don't do that at all. Well, in the first week, it was way more than that because she was crying about going on the block multiple times. Like, I don't know why this is how I'm supposed to play. Like, why did Tucker do any of this? Yes, Kelly. Why did Tucker do any of that?
Exactly.
That's why he didn't make it to jury. And Kelly's destined to also not make it to jury for that.
Well,
and
she's
so-
gonna make it to the final two now because you said that.
Oh, well, maybe, yeah. Man, maybe I need to make a winner pick in Kelly at the end of this podcast. But, who knows, really? But yeah, the power itself, whatever. We've seen a power like this, extra veto. Not going to get up in arms about it. Very happy that Jimmy flushed some of these powers. But Jimmy also nominating 5 people was equally hilarious to me. Because Jimmy, and maybe, oh no, we still have one more power to talk about. We'll talk about Jimmy next. So let's go into the next power. That's Mickey's
The coup
HOH.
d'etat.
Yeah, HOH takeover / coup d'etat-esque power, if you want to talk about it like that. So Mickey has the ability to take over an HOH, which we've seen in the past before on Big Brother. It's a little bit different in how they have executed it this time. Where the HOH gets the opportunity to interrogate everybody after the power is used to try to figure out who is trying to take over their HOH, and or is it everyone gets to interrogate? Because everyone votes.
Everyone they vote. Everyone votes.
Everyone votes. Okay, so everyone votes on who they think has the
There's
power.
a 3
so-
minute. There's a 3 minute interrogation, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And so everyone's gonna get to vote, which is the different aspect of this, which I think it can still be gamed easily. The good part about that, with it being Mickey that has this power, is that you can game it to use it to your advantage, I think, and try to get the majority of the vote to take over the HOH. But it kind of takes away the ability to make it a secret when you have that added in, And also, I should say right now, everyone pretty much knows Mickey has this power at this point. So, like, it was cool for a second. It was cool that Mickey got it in my mind, but to see it play out on the episode where Zach is right next to Mickey when she claims the power, he knows that she has the power, whether he is explicitly
confirm
stating it
it
on the
or
feeds or
no?
not. He didn't confirm it. He might as well at this point with how much he's brought it up. At first, he was kind of like, I think it may be Mickey because she was in the area, but now it seemed to have turned into like, it's Mickey. And it doesn't help that Mickey told Morgan about this, and Morgan is close to Zach. It's like, yeah. So they could easily confirm that too. But in any case, with Mickey's power, you still have the ability to gain enough votes to maybe still use it in an emergency and maybe gain the HOH because of that. But to ask y'all, like, does that defeat the purpose of the power itself because you can do that? Like, is this just, I mean, is the fact that everyone also knows that it's Mickey, is this just another flop HOH takeover power that we're seeing?
Yes. Why
Yeah.
the hell would she tell anybody? I don't know why
It's so easy
people
not
get
to tell.
powers in this game and just like blab. It's like just shut up, please.
Yeah.
Especially with something like that where like people have to like interrogate you and like try to like hello, what is going on? And it's such a good power. That's why it makes me mad that like cuz Mickey is in such a great spot. I do agree like though like with the whole Zach thing and the comp, they made it so that way like it was kind of like if you were near somebody while you were getting it, like they would know. Like it's just very like I don't know, very weird. But it's such a good power and I feel like it's just like ruined because people just can't shut up. But
Yeah, I was just like the whole instance of itself, the interrogation or whatever like that. I was intrigued about because it's like, well, you can sort of deduce it if you don't tell anyone about it, but even if it's like you really don't know. I kind of liked that aspect of it because if you added that aspect for like a coup d'etat or something like that. Like, I feel like that would make it more chancy to get that power and more of a social aspect than just, oh, America voted for you to get it. So
Yeah, I guess by Zach. And so like, I feel like Mickey having this power and just not telling anyone could have been so useful. Like we could have
That's
had,
what I
we could have
mean,
had a
like,
situation where we're like, oh my god, this could actually be detriment, and especially as we're seeing like the two sides forming in a way, where you have kind of like Mickey and Rachel and Ava and a few other stragglers kind of on one side of the house. Morgan is like, where are you going? I'm still trying to figure that out. And then you have more of this Lauren, Vince, Catherine, Riley, the unlikable side of the house that
Yeah.
that is a bit harder to root for, and especially someone who really wants Mickey to go far in this game. I'm worried her just saying that she has the power to Morgan, I feel like could have done some damage or could still do some damage. But I feel like her being right next to Zach was already like the downfall that she didn't need for this power. And so it's just disappointing. But
It is.
and
I guess that's the good word to describe it. Disappointing, because it's such a good power, and like I really like Mickey, so I was happy that someone like her has something really good, and then it's like everyone knows it's just like, okay, like what, girl, all you have to do is shut up. Like I don't know why people just can't not speak in that house. I don't know. I get it. I guess you're that all you have is to talk. But like when it's a power, like why does everyone just say things? Like just shut the fuck up.
It's so I don't know. I've always wondered that too, and I want to ask if and of course I never remember after a season ends if I ever encounter alumni to be like, why do you tell people about, like what is it about? Because I mean, to be in that house already has to be an insane experience, of course, but like to be someone in the house that seemingly knows the game more than other people, especially compared to the people that did not watch any of this game before going on the show, and you can tell. Yeah, I feel like you should know that you need to keep that a secret. I don't know. Maybe it's just you really need to like you just need that ability to talk about your game with somebody else. You need that ability to I don't know, solidify more of a bond with someone, and maybe revealing a power does that, and you see that as a bigger advantage than whatever. But I don't know. I feel like knowing that Zach was right next to you, knowing that Morgan is close to Zach, it would have told Mickey like maybe I need to hold on to this for a second.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just Zach potentially knowing should have told Morgan like I need to chill. But maybe Mickey didn't realize that Zach knew as much as she thought he did.
Right.
I don't know why though, for how quickly we saw unedited she put the power into the slot after bumping into him. Yapping is so easy though is also a good way to describe it, Julie. I agree.
It is.
We don't have to.
then just don't talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, yeah. Going in there, especially if you were a fan of the show, you should know that the other fans don't want you to talk about it.
Like Tyler, whenever he got his power, whenever no one knew who had it
Yeah,
Oh, I
until
do remember
weeks
that.
after, and everyone on Twitter was like, who has the power? We don't know who has the power until the episode actually aired.
yeah, it's great. That would be it's great from a viewer perspective too if we have that ability, which we get very, very slim.
And to the point where Sam didn't even believe that he had the power.
Has Zach told
Like-
anyone about his power? No. And you spelled it like Zach Perez, so I was confused. It's like, does Zach have a power that he hasn't
Me
told us
too.
about? Is Zach? But you about to reveal
I
a
was
power?
confused
Yeah.
for a second.
But no, Zach hasn't told anyone about his power unless he told some person when the feeds were off, and they've also been very, very secretive about it. But there's been nothing on the episodes that have shown that he has told anyone.
Ugh, why
Which
is
if he
Zach
told someone-
playing good?
Yeah, Zach was my winner pick last week, which I should tease later on. We're gonna be making our winner picks, and I made graphics. But let's talk about Jimmy's HOH just to wrap up week 2, which we're making decently good time on right now. So Jimmy, we already brought up, he flushed 2 of the powers. We saw him nominate 5 different people for eviction. And my big take from Jimmy, of course, was that we're talking a big game week 1. we are the shit talker. We're the person who's going to make big speeches that we rehearse for days on end, seemingly, and then make them on TV. But Jimmy was in power, and very quickly you could tell that Jimmy's ability to put his money where his mouth is was not as big as we were hoping it would be. And we saw very, very easy nominations, like we're seeing with Lauren this week, with Lauren literally copying the nominations. We'll see how much she copies them in about hopefully 30 minutes or so. But Jimmy goes in, has to put up 5 people, which not envious of that position by any means, but for the Jimmy that is portrayed to his own alliance members and to the cast versus the Jimmy that they got while he was HOH, completely, I think, tanked his ability to sway anybody in the coming weeks to do anything, or people's ability to want to like converse with him about game, because I just, this tanked a lot of trust with people that I think were really wanting to work with Jimmy, especially people like Mickey, Morgan, and Rachel, who they still have Jimmy on their side, but to rely on him as they're also pushing him to nominate other people outside of these very easy nominations, he just refused. And so I guess let's just talk about Jimmy. He thinks it was a successful HOH because he was able to flush 2 of those powers. But at the end of the week, he's evicting Amy, who he very much could have used as a number, who was not a threat, while he could have nominated someone easily like Riley, who is not interested in playing the game, who will still be good at competitions down the line, I imagine, and who is completely tied to Catherine, who Jimmy is not exactly fully connected with, but at the very least, that's the closest to a showmance that you have in a duo that's so obvious. So what do y'all think of Jimmy and currently in this game, or his HOA train, and just like what happened here, or what is going on with Jimmy? Nick, you can go first.
I think that he had a disaster of an HOH week, like you said. I think anyone that's gonna have to nominate 5 people the second week is gonna have a disastrous HOH week. So I partially blame production, I guess, to an extent, because like they threw in all of these things, I guess, to get people off the
Scared.
block. In a way, I'm kind of glad that they're all like out of the game except Mickey's thing already, so we don't have to even like worry about them. But Jimmy is definitely like, I don't understand the logic still, I guess, with getting Amy out. I really don't know why he really did do that. Like you said, he could have really used Amy as a number, I feel like. So when like a lot of the guys I feel like are very obviously not working with Jimmy and the girls. So I don't know. It just didn't really make sense to me. I feel like he was kind of like losing his mind throughout the whole week. Like he was very much spiraling at different moments. And even like in the beginning, I remember he was like, I might tell like Lauren that she's going to be like my absolute 5th maybe nominee. And like Mickey was like, why in the hell would you do that? Like you don't do that unless you actually need to make the 5th nom. Like just shut up. So he was a mess. I think people, like you said, I think it really did like tank his game. I really do. I don't see him lasting too much longer.
Oh, all right. Zach, you agree? What do you think of Jimmy?
Wait, I wanted to show you something.
Okay.
I agree with
waiting.
what T-Rel is saying in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought up chat. There was a couple points I wanted to bring up, but Zach, you can talk first, and then what is this?
I almost feel like in order to be successful, you need at least one person you're working with who's a little crazy.
Oh, that was it. I'm glad we could figure that out.
Gonna throw up.
Person you're working with who's a little crazy.
Okay, that version of Kelly's kind of entertaining me. I'm sorry.
But wait, what were we talking? Oh yeah, Jimmy.
We're talking about Jimmy. Take your time.
I just hate the fact, like, it's one hand if you know that you're not making good moves and you're too much of a coward to make them, but it's what Barrett was saying about the fact that you're talking all this smack and then there's an opportunity to do it and you don't do it. Like, I feel like he's going to look back at this and it's like, dang, I should have nominated Zach. And because if I was in a position, I would nominate Kelly, Keanu, and Zach. Easily. Take those 2 off. That leaves Zach there. Well, oh dang, then all 3 of them would be taken off. Wow.
Yeah, Zach also would have used his power, unless he
And he
wants
would've
$10,000 really badly. So
Yeah, and he would have flushed that. I feel like that would have been even better too. And I can understand doing that because it does flush all 3 of the powers, but then who does he put up? Like, I feel like you could put up Adrian because Adrian's not in his corner. You can put up Will. Will's fine because he wasn't with him. So Vince. I feel like Vince is those 3 would have been perfect.
yeah,
And Vince isn't with him as
Yeah.
much as he thinks that he is, and it's like, man, you're getting out Amy. Wow, that you didn't do much. You took out someone who honestly wasn't targeting you, at least directly, and you got your allies mad at you. So he didn't do anything, and he said he had to do damage control. Yeah, he does, and that's the worst thing that you could say going out of an HOH. It's like, I'm gonna have to do damage control. Like, why didn't you just not have any damage?
yeah.
Right.
It's always interesting to hear like an HOH be like, I just want to do it the house once and not get any blood on my hands. You know, I want to make sure I get out. But like, when you have multiple people in the house coming up to you saying names, and you revert back to like the names that they didn't say, that's not what pleasing the house is. You're just picking who you think are like the people
Yeah.
who aren't connected in the house, and then just putting them up. Even though nobody really wanted you to do that. So like which of course isn't going to work out well. And then everyone's just going to see you as weak, especially when you're a player that's already tried to get in like multiple fights for your TV moments. It's just going to make people hate you. Like, I don't know what Jimmy was thinking with any of this week, and if he was at all, to be honest. And I'm disappointed that we've had, this is our 3rd HOH now after Lauren won this week, where we're really struggling to have people that are wanting to make big moves. And you could maybe blame Vince a lot for setting that in motion in his week, and having that be the case, which of course is like the worst kind of cycle you want to get into with the Big Brother season, which is just let's nominate the easy people over and over and over again. And that of course makes the blockbuster less interesting, because you might put in one person who has a big advantage over the other 2, like we saw with Adrian versus Kelly and Will, where it wasn't really that much of a competition, or Amy and Will, sorry. And so it could set a cycle that I don't really want to keep happening in this season, whereas we had Angela last year who completely set a different tone, maybe for the entire season, especially when you have people that don't watch the show that much and just think, okay, I'll just replicate what happened last week. I'll just replicate what happened last week. But it's even happening with people who do watch this show, like Lauren, who's watched the show since she was 7, and who's going up there as HOH now this week, kind of doing the same thing, just like, I don't want to upset anyone, so let's do the easy stuff. And it's frustrating.
Not only that, I think it's these house guests that make me think they're like, there's not that many people to nominate. And it's like, well, there are plenty of people to nominate, but these people limit themselves to who they can choose. And it's like,
Right.
and they have me thinking, oh yeah, they can only nominate Keanu, Kelly, and Will. That's the only people they can nominate. I'm like, wait, why am I thinking like them? Stop. Like, they have a whole house. Like, Riley's not doing anything. Catherine is just being so freaking, what's it called? Oh my gosh, hypocritical about things. Like, put her up. Like, Ashley is literally the only one clocking. Like, Catherine's stirring shit up. Like, she's a pot stirrer. And like, Ashley's like, yeah, I'm not forgetting the fact that she did that. I'm like, okay, good. I thought that you did for a second, but like, come on. Like, there are plenty of people there that are just being furniture right now.
Yes, absolutely. A couple of things that people have brought up with talking about all these powers. I agree completely that like, when I first heard that there was 3 powers that got won in the HOH competition, I was like, okay, well, we're just trying to keep Rachel in the game however we can, in whatever way possible, whether that means Rachel wins the power or that power saves Rachel. I think it's just hilarious. I was fully expecting this week to be like, there are 8 vetoes at play, and Rachel can only win 12 of them. And she can use them until next season. And it's like, I was just like, I fully expect there to be another instance where we're like, okay, this is to save Rachel and only to save Rachel. So I'm glad y'all brought that up too. But yeah, going back to Jimmy, it's like even the person that he got out of the house, Amy, someone that he could have pulled in, but also someone he was telling throughout the week, like, you have the votes, don't worry. Like I've counted the votes. I've got like 10 of them right now. And she got evicted 13-0. Like, like his word is shit to people. And on top of all that, Amy calls him out on the way out of the house. And it's just like, hey, Jimmy's a snake and a liar, which I should really pull up that clip because it was probably the best part of that episode besides Lemon Drop. But,
Oh my god.
but yeah, Jimmy is so disappointing after seeing, like, at the very least, I thought Jimmy could be a character. But even then, it felt, his villain energy in the DR kind of felt fake to me. Like, it felt very, very forced and fabricated. So I'm glad to at least know that that's not who he is as a person, because I think he's more interesting as more like being strategic as opposed to someone who just wants to make good TV. So maybe he'll adjust to that after flopping as HOH. But yeah, I need to find the Lemon Drop or Amy movement real quick. Anything else you want to say about Jimmy while I find that?
He's on his way to be so is it confirmed that the jury's 7?
That the what?
The jury
that
is
jury's
7?
I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna get information on that.
Yeah.
I prefer 9. I preferred 9.
But you bring up a good point. There is endless discussion about who everybody wants in jury, and who they don't want in jury, and also just like when the hell the wall comp is going to happen, I guess.
Oh my god.
The first thing
Adrian's foaming at the mouth for it.
I know. Yeah, Adrian's been building it for years. All right, I found the Amy clip, and then we could probably move on to talking about Amy a little bit from there before saying goodbye to her. This is Amy going out of the house.
Oh, this was funny.
Jimmy
On
just
Thursdays, we
rubbing
work-
his forehead as she says it. Is like, oh god.
It was I was like, do they hear her? Because like they were just like, yeah.
It
And
didn't
she's
seem like a lot. People heard.
Like
her now.
no one seemed phased, and she just kept saying it over and over again. I felt like to make sure they heard it. I was like,
Yeah, and it's like I don't like. It's hard to know what the hell that is like when someone gets evicted, like in Big
Yeah.
Brother, like what you hear or even what you're like. You're probably just overloaded with a lot going on in your mind because you're like, I'm about to play in a competition. I just evicted someone I lived with for 2 weeks and lied to a lot of this week. Feeling pretty guilty about that. So, and then also everyone's cheering like 50 feet from
They're
you.
trying to get their freaking waves in the freaking doorway.
Yeah, it's just like, wait, I don't know if people are gonna see me.
being
But-
like, Amy, you need to leave the house immediately. Like,
Yeah, that was so, that we've seen a lot of long evictions so far with people getting to the door. It got, which made me wonder since they showed Amy's. Oh wait, no, not Lauren yet. I was going to Amy. Since they went to Amy's goodbye messages in the Julie interview, I was like, is that the typical protocol when someone takes too long? Is that they skip questions or like multiple questions and then just go straight to goodbye messages because they know that's how long it's gonna take, and then they're like bye. But maybe since like the mastermind was in the goodbye messages, they were like, we'll show this. Also, the mastermind saying, can't wait to hang out on the outside was the funniest thing that mastermind
That
could have said.
was peak. Like that was literally peak. I was cracking the hell up. That was so good. I was so happy that they did that.
Let's talk about Amy real quick. Obviously, Amy was the secret accomplice, someone that we were very high on preseason, like so high on going into the game. Was wanting to make the women's alliance. She was the person that we saw in the Mike Bloom interviews. It's like, I'm going to do it. And of course, we see her out week 2 amongst, a household that is completely all over the place. And nothing like that sort of alliance was ever going to work with this cast. Especially if you're going against the boys and Kelly, it's probably going to be hard to form a women's alliance at that point. So Amy seemed doomed pretty much from the start, and not that Amy ever gifted herself any favor with staying in this game. Amy blamed her eviction on Rachel, of course, that's the sentiment that we saw leading up to it with her saying to Rachel, I literally would be in a better position if I wasn't, aligned with you, which is like, okay, cool. But what did y'all think of Amy? Is that true that if she was not attached to Rachel, she would still be in this game? Or do you feel like Amy still would have had an uphill battle to climb just with her gameplay? Or lack
No,
of?
because think about it. Amy was first on the block the first week because she was attached to Ashley. She was in the room crying because Ashley was going on the block, not because of Rachel. So Amy did it to herself. It was not Rachel's fault. Rachel was probably her strongest ally. So
Guaranteed. Yeah. without a
yeah,
doubt.
so that was not the correct read, Amy, whatsoever.
Yeah.
She would have been out a week before if it wasn't for Rachel, probably, to be honest.
Exactly, actually. She would have been the first food, actually, if it wasn't for Rachel. So, I don't know about that, Amy.
All
It
right,
also didn't
Zach.
help the fact that she was crying about her kids. So,
Yeah.
which I don't know. I mean, I would have kept her around. I thought it would be even funnier if they would have kept her around so she didn't get to see her kids.
What? Pretty out of pocket.
If someone's crying about it, like, you know what, I'm gonna let you stay so that you know what you decided to do.
Zach wants the dark version of Big Brother, where we're keeping people in the house that are begging to leave.
Yeah, keeping Kenny here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thankfully, Will is still not exactly Kenny. He goes back and forth between being like, I hate being here, but more of in a sense of like I can't relate to anybody, as opposed to I miss all my family. Not that he doesn't, but
Which I don't understand that too, where it's like, I can't relate to anyone. I'm like, what'd you expect? Like, you were gonna be this is gonna be the old folks' home. Like, this is gonna be 20 somethings and two maybe 30 plus people or 40 plus people, and he didn't yeah.
yeah. Well, talking about
Download
Amy-
TikTok.
Wait, what on TikTok?
Download TikTok and look up millennial slang or
You can't do that in the house, man. You can't do it. Not fair. Let's just talking about Amy real quick. I forgot that she got to keep her job because she got evicted before July 31st. So great, good for Amy, I guess, if she wanted to keep that. But Amy herself, like, I do worry about this unanimous vote, and this may be a little thing because it may not continue past this week. But I do worry about the fact that Amy did get voted out unanimously while also having people kind of in her corner that could have tossed her sympathy votes or people that were unafraid. But like even Rachel voting her out, I don't know if that was more of a stance on like just Rachel wanting to stay safe or like knowing that any little thing could be used against her, which honestly, after Riley's vote or everyone's vote last week that got everyone in flux about like who voted where and started all that drama, I don't really blame Rachel for just voting Amy out and not letting her be an automatic nomination. And an inevitable, like, I don't know if Lauren would have done it, but someone on that side would have just been like, okay, well, Rachel voted to keep Amy, so we can just toss her on the block now. It's fine. It's easy. But I do worry about having unanimous vote in the second week after having so many close votes due to the blockbuster last year. So I don't know if y'all thought about that at all, but I don't like unanimous votes. So I always think about it every time it happens that we may be leading down a line of unanimous, just because everyone's afraid. And I get a lot of afraid energy from this cast. So do you all see that at all, or am I crazy?
I guess, yeah.
yeah, I feel like there's so many people. It's just like it's hard to say. It's hard to pinpoint right now.
Okay, that's fine too. We don't have to nail that down right now. We've only had one unanimous vote, so I could be getting worried for no reason. We don't have to talk about Amy too much more. Let me just play her goodbye message from the mastermind.
Oh, my favorite.
Amy, my accomplice, this is a sad day. If only you were as skilled at the Big Brother game as you were at pressing secret buttons for me. Can't wait to hang on the outside at my new lair.
That was great. That was perfect. Okay. Amy,
So good.
Amy will miss you. I don't know if the okay. Well, Amy, I'm gonna be honest. You didn't really do a whole lot in the game, but I feel like you could have, and that's what's important. Yeah, Amy going that last week, not really complaining about it. Oh, Lemon Drop. That's what I was gonna play while I had that episode still in my mind. We also had our first look at the opening titles for this year. Don't know if y'all wanted to talk about that at all. If y'all have any thoughts about them. It's a different song, kind of different how they.
Definitely different, but I kind of liked it. It felt like unique to the season, which I
mean,
liked.
it was, but it feels like the freaking letters are gigantic.
There's a lot of big letters. That's for sure.
There is.
Very
It's
mysterious.
giving
Very mysterious
it's
big
giving
letters.
Ransom note.
No.
Will, am I your lemon drop then? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Settle down.
God.
Settle
Joking.
down.
Joking Julie is back. Okay.
She
we're
is.
Where
not.
has she been?
We're not playing around anymore. Yeah, I don't know where she's been, but she is here, and I would love to know how long she's been ready for that. I don't know. Like, she had to have heard it last week and was just like, but hesitated. So she's like, if he says it this week, I'm gonna do it. But great moment from Julie, and I don't know. And we don't have easily the best moment from that episode, to be honest. It was not an exciting episode. So I'm really glad we had that. I also really like Will, and I'm just going to say that because I don't know how much we'll get to talk about Will in this podcast. I really like Will. I like that he's not giving up. I like how pissed off he is when like people are aligned to him. I just wish he would be more... I wish he would be more like that all the time. I know you have to like give and take with it, but I loved how fiery he was after finding out that Kiana was blaming the vote on him for not voting Amy out. And he just immediately was like standing up, just like, okay, well, I'm going to go downstairs because I don't have the energy to go back and forth all night and talk about this. So we're going to wrap it up now. And then, of course, we see him on the block again this week and how mad he is about that. But I enjoy Will. I hate the position he's in, but also, like y'all brought up earlier, I feel like he's got to understand that is the dynamic in this house when you're here with a bunch of younger people. And I thought when like the pilot, when he was talking about like, I am very comfortable being in uncomfortable places. Like I've had these many jobs. I've done this as my career. I've been I've been able to be away from home, be away from my family better than all of these other people, and that could be my advantage. And it doesn't seem to be that that's still his case. So
Are we also not going to point to the fact that this man literally said that he was going to lie about being in the military?
yeah, yeah, that's a good point too.
But I mean, I like him. I wish I could see him, Ava, and Rachel doing something, and I would honestly love it.
Yeah, him and Ava and
I would like
Rachel
that.
would be a great trio to root for. I don't think they could win the game though. Like, no way that is happening. But I would, because collectively they have 0 competition wins amongst all of them so far, which is another point to bring up for Rachel because we had an interesting moment where she talked about that specifically last night. So
What other people didn't really? Are there any successful alliances that really didn't have competition wins?
Good question. I mean, you could point to Chilltown not being the most dominating of alliances, but that's just a duo. So, off the top of my head, though, that's hard to figure out.
I'm trying to think.
Keep thinking on it. Well, because I think we should finally move on to this week.
The Regulators,
I don't even remember who was in the Regulators.
Lawan, Dominic.
Oh, so everyone that got evicted first. Well, in that
Keith.
case, you could have like what the bomb. Well, no, the bomb squad included the winner. So, what was the? No, wait, the moving company. Who was the moving company? Was that
That was
BB-15?
15. That was
15
Spencer,
with Nick
Yeah.
Uhas
McRae,
and.
Jeremy.
I probably had a lot of people who didn't win because I feel like that had a lot of people that went out first. But that's just another big alliance that you could just point to a couple people being the.
Apparently, a friend of mine went to high school with Nick Uhas.
Really?
And they were friends, and then they laughed at him because he got evicted so soon.
Oh yeah, hilarious. I mean, one of
So
the
funny.
I remember at the time I was thinking like he might be one of the, because you didn't see like that archetype of Big Brother just get evicted the second week and BB15. So I was like, oh my god, like that was so quick. The year after like Ian Terry wins, you have like kind of the Ian Terry archetype go in and immediately get evicted. It was so weird. But we
Andy
should,
clocked him.
yeah, exactly. We should move on to this week though, y'all. Let's talk about the last, I guess, we only have the last episode to really talk about for this week, so it's mainly going to be feeds that we discuss as we still are awaiting the veto renom, correct?
Yeah.
Or
I have the feeds open.
did you just ask? Did it just come back on? Are you tricking me? Don't trick me like that.
Zach
know
is
you're-
nominated.
No, he's not. Okay, so the feeds haven't come back yet.
I was gonna say my
Zach
phone
Perez
goes
is gonna
off
be
when they
nominated
come
as anybody.
back. Exactly.
Let's catch up on the week so far. So right now, where we are sitting currently, we have Lauren as the HOH. If you watched last night's episode, she nominated at the very end of the episode Will, Kelly, and Keanu, very much copying the end or a mix of nominations from last week in the pool of 5 from Jimmy. We saw as of Saturday, Keanu winning the power of veto. And then as of right now, currently, the feeds are down, and we are awaiting who the renom is going to be. And as the feeds went down right before we went live, stop it. The two options for the renom were going to be either Ashley or Adrian. That may shock some of you. It may shock none of you. Those are the two options for renom. But we can dive into everything else this week. Because with Lauren as HOH, we saw her win the competition last night where we saw Liz and Julia Nolan come back for randomly the most random cameos I think they probably could have had 10 years after their original season with their twin witness news. Lauren and it came down to Lauren and Mickey on the true and false questions. And then Lauren ended up being the winner. That competition ended up being way shorter than it seemed like they were hoping it would be. But Lauren is the winner.
It could have been live.
Yeah, it really could have. I mean, no, they never would have planned that. But they wouldn't do that for us. What am I saying? But Lauren is the winner. We have a bunch of DRs immediately afterwards of just like, well, who is Lauren exactly? And what will she do? Also, I'm just now noticing the chat. I was kind of moving topics there. Julie is just a silly girl. Julie had an I think you should leave moment. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I had the same thought of just like, oh my God, Lauren might be the most random person to win the HOH. And what was eerie about it was on Thursday's episode in the eviction, we finally saw Lauren like have a DR session after having like one collectively in the first week and a half in this game. And it was very specific. You know, it was her talking to Catherine, and she's talking about, like, people just think I'm this girl in the middle. Kind of like what the other DR session we saw from Lauren in the season was just like, everyone thinks that I'm going to be this young, dumb person who's just going to do whatever they say, but really I'm a super fan, and they should look out for me. And that's really appealing as someone who watches this show and is also a super fan. And so Lauren wins the HOH, and I'm like, okay, this is her chance. At times, I pick and choose. But Lauren winning HOH was kind of interesting. It was like, okay, where is she going to go with this? She is more on the side that I don't really vibe with as much. But she wasn't like solidified with that side of the house. But very quickly we saw Vince and Jimmy in last night's episode, but also on the feeds, Vince especially, getting in her ear. They're talking about like, don't let anyone take over your HOH, yada, yada, as we're here taking over your HOH.
Literally,
Yeah, and as the week's gone on, we talked about this a little bit beforehand, and I know Taryn talked about it. Just like Vince now has very Kyland comparisons going, or Kyland accusations from fans, but the cast is kind of like, if they knew who Kyland was, would also probably be saying he's playing kind of a Kyland game with just hanging out in the HOH room. Let me also be in the room, in the corner, and just like, how as a cast member do you not sit there and like why is this dude here? Why are you here? Like, okay, I would love to talk to you, but like, why is this guy sitting in the room? Like, there's no reason he should be here just listening to all of this. But and that's an aside from Lauren, I know, but it's very much in her HOH reign. But just let's talk about Lauren now. Her early, I mean, still we have half of a week to go, but her early HOH, I feel, has been riddled with the same issues that Jimmy had, which is just, I'm afraid to do anything. But she has the added element of like, people are actively in her ears trying to get her to do things constantly. And so I feel like it's very, just the contrast from what her DR session was before she won HOH of just like what she wanted to do in this game. And so I just question, what are y'all seeing from Lauren so far in this week? And what are you hoping plays out from here?
I want to root for her. I want to root for her so bad. But like, why are you letting these bozos just run this? Like, not only this, an unemployed man, a man who can't even get a job. Meanwhile, you're over here running a bridal company. You're letting this man come here and just tell you what to do.
Meanwhile, you're running a bridal company. Is crazy. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
And like, I just want to shake her and be like,
Don't do
well, I want to shake some sense to her and just be like, do what's good best for your game. And like right now, which it's funny enough where she's talking about, I don't want to win HOH right now because I'm right in the middle. I'm in a good position. And it's like, I really wanted to win HOH because I'm right in the middle. I need to show that I need to make a big move.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, which is it? Anyway, this week won't be bad for her. I mean, because I feel like she can always fall back on, well, I just did what the house wanted. So, I mean, that's not bad for her in a sense. Like, yeah, Keanu wasn't directly working with her, and nor was Kelly that much. So, like, that's fine. And then this third one being Will, like, yeah. So this isn't bad for her, but it's also like, there could have been something that could have propelled her game forward, and she just didn't decide. She decided not to do that. So
Yeah.
it's like stagnated her in a sense.
Yeah, and I think it did stagnate her, but I also think it's made her an easy nomination for people next week.
Yeah.
Just with how stagnated she's become, and just not picking a side. So really done herself a disservice. But Nick, go ahead, talk about Lauren.
Yeah, I feel like that pretty much is it. Like, I think it's kind of hard because I think she was very much torn, obviously, on what to do for the Renom situation. And I think it's a little understandable because it is a little bit of a difficult position. I feel like she's kind of in the middle of both, not really in the middle of both groups, but she can be in the middle of both groups. And I feel like she doesn't want to piss one group off by putting up the other person and vice versa. And so I feel like the disservice has been her being like, maybe I'm doing this, or maybe I'm doing that, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's just kind of like, Lauren, just like, you gotta kind of just pick something and go with it, because now that other person knows that you were considering putting them up, even if you don't. So it's like, you know, you don't want to say too much and you don't want to say too little. And I feel like she's saying a little too much to too many people.
Yes, it's very much just I'm thinking about like the last night's episode when she's talking to Keanu in the HOH, and she's like just avoiding saying anything really to the guy that she clearly is going to nominate. Like with Keanu at this point, and I mean, we're watching him from, you know, the safety of our homes, you know, and not like in a game having to tell him that we're nominating him. So it's probably, I mean, I know it's going to be way different, especially with Keanu, who's just like not going to take an answer that you're nominating him, and he's just going to keep pushing like, well, what if we did this, or what if we did this, or what if we did this, which I do commend Keanu for. It's just always the wrong thing, it seems. But yeah, she's had that energy with a lot of people, and you're right, Nick, like by the time she is saying I might put up this person, like by the time that person that she said that to goes downstairs, everyone knows that she said that. So it's like,
Right.
just say what you want to do, because you should know, and maybe she doesn't, that everything is getting around in this house. And maybe that's the disadvantage of her not being too tied to people, you know, going into her HOH reign. But it's like, it's disappointing because this is yet another house guest that I feel like we have to sit here and be like, we had high hopes. And then they had power, and then they didn't really do much with it. And especially if Lauren's just gonna fall into this side or be looped into the side of Catherine and Vince and Zach and Riley and all the, kind of forming the side, she might as well just pick the side then, like, and work from
Yeah.
there. And then she could at least, post blame to everyone else, which thankfully Vince is doing that for himself in large part, with talking to her as much as he is and how in her ear he is. I mean, before the podcast, we were watching, Nick was watching the feeds, and we had Zach and Vince in Lauren's HOH room as she's being called to the DR, and then they're telling her, put up Adrian. Or not put up Adrian, put up Ashley. But then you have, Mickey, Morgan, Rachel, that side of the house saying, please put up Adrian. Which I think for Lauren's sake, it probably is safer to put up Ashley for her. But I don't know if she knows that. So I'm very interested to see who she picks. I still think it'll be Ashley. Y'all seem to think that Adrian could very well be the option.
Well, I feel like for me, right, I think what's going on too is Catherine she's considering as her number one ally, and Catherine is very much put Adrian up, if I'm correct. At least she was last night when I was watching.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like messing with Lauren's head a little bit, because like Lauren obviously trusts Catherine a lot, and then she also has like these conversations like today with like Mickey and Morgan in the HOH before Zach and Vince got in there, and Morgan said to her, like, you know what you're doing, and like you know what you want to do, like just do what you want to do and stop listening to the gnats flying around. And I was like, I like that analogy. But then Mickey and Lauren were also talking alone, and
Feeds are up.
Pause.
Lauren was saying to Mickey that she doesn't want everyone in the house to think that her and Catherine are just like, the same person essentially, and that she wants to do her own thing. So I feel like she's conflicted because of the whole thing with Catherine. Catherine is her number one ally. She trusts Catherine. Catherine's telling her to kind of do the opposite of what she's thinking of doing. And I think that that's what is also playing a part in this.
Yeah, if only people just talk to each other, instead of what was on their mind sometimes.
Right.
If they're your number one ally. But I know that's crazy to think about. Me
and Nick were right.
And so you and Nick were right. And is that confirmed? Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't even think the feed. Are you sure the feeds are even back?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that the feeds are back.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Zach.
We're being trolled by Natalie.
Natalie just trolled. Oh.
Yeah. So still yet to see if Ashley or Adrian is up on the block. Thanks, Natalie.
I
though.
literally have
Real
the feeds
cool.
opened on my other monitor, so I will know when they come back.
But yeah, Lauren, disappointed by this week. Still feel like she has the potential down the line to really become a good player in this game, and maybe this HOH week will wake up that for her. It seems like she just wants to be done with it. She literally had a night where she was like, I'm not talking game with anyone anymore tonight. And I can't remember if that was around the same time that like Ashley mouths pathetic to the cameras after she left the room. But yeah, she's had like people are kind of pissed at her for just being so indecisive all of the time. And then of course they see Vince talking to her every 5 seconds seemingly, and are like, well, is Vince the problem? I think Vince is probably the problem, which Vince has got more and more people onto his game this week as well, which is very exciting from my perspective. I love that people are catching on to Vince's game, because he is really good at socializing. He's really good at having like one-on-one conversations, but like for watching him as a feedster, it's like you can really tell what he's doing, but playing the game, it's got to be wildly different. But for like last night to see Ava have a moment with Lauren, which I loved, where she was just like, what do you think of Vince? Like, I'm not trying to say anything, but like, what do you think of Vince? In which I love Ava's way of like complaining about people or like trying to get information, because she's like, not saying it's bad, not saying it's good, but like, what do you think of Vince? Like, I just think he's interesting. I've seen Ava have 2 conversations where she brings it up like that, where she's just like, it's not good, and I'm not saying it's bad, but like, what do you think? And so it's just like, well, I think you think it's bad, Ava. I think you don't agree with it.
Well, clearly the man is not good at talking with people. He literally hasn't had a job in a year. So
You've said that a couple of times. Oh, that makes me want to play the clip because I know you're inspired.
I love
Or
this
what
clip.
inspired that?
It's my
we
favorite
were
clip
playing
of
that
the
before.
season so far.
Here's Rachel talking about Vince to Lauren.
York by yourself. Like, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're following your dreams. You're gonna move to New York by yourself. Like, sure, your friend is there, but like, you are a strong woman. You're educated. You have everything going for you. Like, there's no reason why you should feel like you have to listen to. I mean, honestly, to someone that's like unemployed in their 30s, who is.
Oof. Little mean, but
but true.
It's Rachel.
The truth will set you free.
She said worse.
she has said worse. She said worse for better.
You're not even good at being gay.
Oh God, I forgot she said that. But I do love the Vince shade at least. Like, I'm glad we're not just letting him do this
Yeah.
week after week. Or I'm glad there is someone like Rachel who will say that, who probably has a better grasp at what Vince is doing than these other house guests might be at times. Not that I'm saying that these hosts cannot pick up that Vince is playing a good social game. They definitely are picking up on that on their own. But being able to say it to Lauren between Rachel and Ava is so funny to me, considering how much they know Vince talks to Lauren. And so it's like you're having to know that Lauren may very well relay this to Vince, but being okay with getting Vince scared because of it, which may be them just clocking Vince even more because he's terrified of these things being said about him. He's terrified of everything. I love how paranoid he gets when he just like gets a slightly off feeling about someone in a conversation. So if they want to send Vince spiraling, I would love it. But I just don't. It doesn't give me confidence that Vince is gonna like not be protected by people who are just gonna keep winning competitions in the future, though.
Or like how he's freaking like, I don't even know how I'm so mad Rachel caught on to us. I don't even know how she would even know. And they've literally he's been in the HOH room for like days.
Yeah, might as well have moved in at this point. Vince actually took a 5-hour shower last night, I think, in the HOH room.
And no one got mad.
Yeah, nobody said anything about it. But
Lauren
yeah,
actually apologized for being in the room while he was taking a shower.
Yeah, sorry, Vince. I know you were busy. But I don't know where to go from here. Obviously, we're only halfway through Lauren's HOH week, and the theme so far that I wanted to talk about was just that she's not really wanting to make her own decisions, and it's very much a frustrating continuation of the weeks we've seen so far of just playing it safe. That being said, though, there are like two sides of this house that could lead to a very close vote this week, depending on how it shakes out. So if we want to talk about that or the alliance charts in general, I have Big Bro Junkie's alliance chart that I could pull up, and we can talk about that as well as like the potential vote this week, if that sounds appealing to y'all.
Yeah.
Sure.
Obviously, we have to discuss like an extra scenario because we don't know who the nominee is yet, and so maybe we'll have that a little bit more clarified. But I'll pull up Big Bro Junkie's alliance chart real quick. Here it is. A lot going on here, and very much like we had 10 days ago, a lot of these are not going to be like the most solidified alliance in the world. Obviously, the Bond is still on there, and we could very well have two people from that alliance being nominated by a person that is also in that alliance by the time we're done with this podcast. So the Bond is not exactly the Bond that we might have been like slightly hoping for. Of course, there are factions in there that you can definitely point to, like Lauren and Vince and Zach definitely being a good trio to look for. Obviously, like, and Nick, feel free to help me out here at any point. You have Morgan and Mickey as a good solid duo at this point. There's been kind of like strengths and weaknesses at times to that duo, just depending on how close Morgan has been to Zach, it seems. We also have Vince pretty much with the final two with everybody. I mean, you could
Yeah, I
definitely
was
look
gonna
at
say,
Vince
Vince
at this
is, like,
point.
Everywhere. Like,
Yeah, Vince is very much like the Tyler Crispin of the season is my comparison for him. Definitely
But
like
not as
Tyler
good.
Crispin All Stars, especially if you want to go to count all of the final twos and deals. I guess Tyler All Stars before he decided he didn't want to play anymore. And so we have that. Like, there's some that you don't really even need to care about anymore, like the Unexpendables, Keanu, Vince, and Riley, which is the funniest alliance to me that it exists.
Yeah.
I like that they pretend that they're good with each other. Riley and Catherine is still a weird duo that I don't know how to
Yeah.
feel about at this point, but like this note says from Junkie, like Riley's only goal in the game is for Kat to win. Still very much true. Lauren and Catherine, whether they want to say it or not, are definitely working together. And
I'm
then
rooting for them. I'm just saying.
I am not
Of course, you're
for
rooting for them.
Catherine.
Of
I'm
course.
rooting for half of them, I think.
Zach,
But-
you literally have Lauren's name in your thing. I don't want to hear.
I said
it.
one of them. I don't care about the. I care about one. I don't care about the other.
triplets
I'm
and heavy
Catherine
hitters.
is the reason why girls' alliances do not work.
Lauren
Catherine's
is?
trying to get.
I said
is?
Catherine.
Oh yeah, Catherine's absolutely the reason. Yeah, from day one, literally.
You can't prioritize 9 other women over me. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm
Yeah.
like, girl,
To
Miss Feminist my ass.
not trash on Catherine for a little bit, I did love
No, I can
something
keep
she
on
said last
trashing.
night. Which I guess I haven't really trashed on Catherine yet. Whoops, revealed my opinions on Catherine in this game right now. But Catherine said last night, which I really liked, to Lauren when they were talking, like, I just don't think it's a good idea that we should keep renominating the same people over and over again because that's just
Yes.
building all of their resumes. I thought that was a fantastic thing that she said, and
Yes,
probably
I
didn't
really
help
liked
Lauren
that
out at all.
conversation.
But
I know. I liked that conversation. That was what I was referencing earlier when Catherine was pushing for Adrian to go on the block, and I don't think that's good for Lauren, of course, but like I think that's why Lauren's head is like all over the place because Catherine is telling her to maybe do the wrong thing. But
yeah.
like it's hard because like the viewer is like, ooh, yes, like I don't want Ashley to go on the block, but then like me, game person, I'm like, no, Lauren should put Ashley on the block. Like it's hard. But regardless, I like Catherine.
I don't.
And what?
So
did-
she's boring.
I did
I
love.
don't-
I didn't talk. Sorry,
You
Zach.
just called her a pot stirrer earlier, and then you called her boring in the same sentence. So you can't
Okay,
be both.
never mind. I don't like the fact that she's a hypocrite.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, how are you gonna have your freaking zodiac sign tattooed on you whenever you're over here talking all this mess? Like,
What
I'm
does
just,
someone's zodiac sign have to do with someone talking crap?
they're all supposed to be peace, love, calm, whatever.
That's not
Like,
what that is at all.
I know the world and all this stuff.
No.
Anyway,
Wrong.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is that she's literally like, I'm all about feminism, female empowerment,
And that's why she don't want Ashley to go on the block.
Catherine.
She doesn't. Catherine wants Adrian to go up. That's what I'm saying this whole time.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's,
then why'd
that's
she
what
vote out
makes
Amy?
all of these dynamics even more confusing because everything should
12 other
point.
people voted out Amy.
Everything should point to Catherine wanting Ashley on the block. So,
Yes,
not
but
that I'm saying that Catherine loves
Catherine-
Ashley by any means.
Yes, but last night Catherine was telling Lauren to put up Adrian.
Which is an
And that's
interesting
why-
argument to make while also saying we shouldn't renominate the same people
I
every
know.
week. Which goes back to
Exactly.
being hypocritical.
Exactly.
I just think she's confused, okay?
Confused.
Going back to
feel
this
like-
alliance chart, though, let me just say it's
No.
fitting that the triplets and heavy hitters are being covered up because you don't have to worry about those alliances. And also, I was
No.
just going to say real quick, Ava and Rachel's final two, which we saw more on the episode last night, which we were kind of in flux about because we didn't know if it was real or not. Or we didn't see it. Did we see it on last night's episode or Unlocked? I can't remember.
Last night, you watched Unlocked.
No, I'm not saying we did, but I heard that they talked about that clip.
Oh,
And I saw the clip online. I couldn't remember if I saw it on the episode and saw it online, or if I saw the clip from Unlocked online.
I will also say it's not, or I would watch for Taylor, but the other person is making me not want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roxy's
blame
boy.
Stop.
But
She can't defend herself here.
she can come on and defend herself. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, Ava and Rachel. I want them to work. I really want them to.
I do too. Rachel just has a tough time, it seems like. I agree with other people. Like, I think the way that she talks to others is she's coming from the right spot, and I think she's got the right idea. She just doesn't know how to talk to people. Like, I don't know. She's never played this game where she has to like really, really, really get to like
Be nice to people.
yes, and that's what she wants to do, I think, and that's who she is largely. Like, she's not trying to be the person she was 14, 15 years ago, and it doesn't want to fall into that, and that's why I didn't like I don't know, her dressing up and be like, I've dressed up in black because we're ready for a funeral. Maybe I need to stir this house up. Maybe I need to tear it all down. And I'm like, no. I think what you're doing is just about to work. So please don't do that. Like, I think your work is actually going to pay off soon if you keep trying this. Especially if these two sides form. I would hope so even more that it could work out. So I do worry about that. But like, I think her approach with Ava and her approach with these alliances is great. Like, I think she's got the right idea, but she has Adrian, who's always just like, I'm sus about you. I don't like the way you talk to me. It sounds like an interview. And which Adrian doesn't really, I don't think Adrian talks to anybody that well, to be honest. But yeah, for Rachel's purposes, I do worry that she's approaching it and people keep feeling like she's lying to them. And maybe that's part of the false impression that they have of her.
Literally, I'm just like, I want to play or get like I don't know how you would do this, but like maybe get like a banner or something and fly it over whatever and just be like, Rachel was actually loyal on her season or something like that. I don't know, but
yeah. And I should say, I know Joseph has been kind of on the in chat has been on the side of like production wants Rachel to stay. Production will, not exactly the biggest Rachel fan, which I also agree with that. I think production easily has been trying to keep the game with their week 1. Let's keep her a half, not let's have her have safety, and then also week 2 with let's throw 3 power. That's gonna keep happening. I fully think. And Rachel in the game, I'm not gonna be happy about it. I want Rachel to stay in this game because she did something to stay in this game, and not the other way around. So. I completely agree. But I also still want Rachel to do something good on her own.
So what happens if she gets those people who won the powers to use them on her? Is that good game?
If she won the power on her own and then used it, the thing is, I'm gonna go back to
someone else uses the power and then uses it on her.
Maybe. I mean, you could argue that is part of her, connecting with people socially. And like, if she was able to do that after the start of the season where everyone's kind of like suspicious of her, then maybe that's fine. I mean, like, it is a credit to have someone use a power on you, I think, more often than not. But to have it magically show up out of nowhere and how it's given to the person is when I get to have trouble with it.
I mean, to be fair, this is the same thing that they did on All Stars.
For the VIP or what do you mean?
No,
I don't remember what
basement power.
Yeah, I was about to say the basement powers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When it was like
they were in the dark.
But it's all.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's All Stars. I feel like it's a little bit different than having the season with one returning player that was also, an icon fan.
It was also All Stars without
different,
All Stars. So
yeah, also very different season in general. Yeah, All Stars couldn't be saved by any sort of power, it seemed. I forgot about the basement power, so it just made me remember David pretending that to not have it.
Did you use it on me?
Did you use it on me?
Oh my god.
God,
And then
don't take me back to that.
Danny's terrible power.
I don't remember what her power was.
The replay power.
She got to play in HOH back-to-back weeks.
Yeah,
Oh,
or someone
okay.
else would. And then her alliance got mad at her because they were like, can you use it on me? And she's like, I don't know. And then she used it on Memphis. Never Memphis didn't even want it.
I don't remember any. That's crazy. I don't really remember any of that. I don't
It's-
want to.
Yes, music. By
Now the feeds are back. Zachary.
Who's nominated?
Natalie.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
we'll
then
find
why
out
are you
who's
telling us
nominated in a
this?
second, and then we'll have a fun vote count for everybody. I'll pull up the cast list again, and we can do that. Before we get to that, just since we're still looking at this chart, who are y'all's favorite final two, final three, or just alliance in general that you're rooting for right now?
My favorite final two or final three.
Adrian's been nominated.
I would say. I don't know if I have one. Oh,
Okay.
actually, no. Mickey Morgan.
Mickey Morgan's, I
Fe-
feel like is
Mickey
the
Morgan's a
easy
good one.
choice for me too.
Yeah.
Feeds
I do
are
like
saying,
Rachel Ava a lot too.
Feeds are saying that Ashley's in the shower.
Okay.
Ashley's not in the shower. I'm literally watching her right now, watching Lauren in the HOH room.
I still really love Ava Will. I mean, they're not getting together and they're just, planning their games out, but I do love them as just watching two people that definitely are kind of on the outside of a lot of decision making, and still finding their way in the game. Of course, with Will on the nomination block, really trying to find his way in the game, and Ava's slowly finding her way into all of these not solidified alliances, but at least like finding her way socially a lot more than the first week where I was kind of still worried about her. So I do like what Ava's doing. Whether she's doing it, a lot of it intentionally or not intentionally, she's someone that people want to keep around right now, it seems. And for Rachel to form a final two with her, it caught me off guard. So I really enjoyed that final two as well, just because of how surprising it was to see formed. But Rachel, like we kind of said, Rachel, Ava, and Will, if they were to form a trio of sorts and really work together, I would be cool. And then also I should mention Ava and Rachel's final two is called Double the Fun, DTF, if we want to call it that for short, down the line. Down to final two.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Oh my God.
Falte.
Adrian is the renom.
Adrian is the renom. So I was wrong. Natalie knew. Natalie, spoiler girl. So
Spoiler girl.
so Adrian and
Careful.
Kelly and Will all are
America
final
and
nom-
Corey are coming for you.
Yeah. Okay, let me go back to our cast list and let's
Wait, I didn't get to say mine.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about you. Go ahead.
Yeah. That was funny.
Go ahead.
Mine would be Ava, Rachel, and Lauren.
Lauren.
What?
Did they have a bond? Or not the bond, but
No, I'm just saying in Final Three, there's usually
okay, so you kind of
He was asking which of the final two alliances
The ones that
do you
exist.
like the most.
Yeah.
Oh,
or final any alliance.
Rachel,
really.
Rachel, and Ava.
Okay, cool. All right, we got something going. Wait, did anybody else say their favorites? Does anybody else have a favorite? You don't have to. You can say it now or later on, but I just wanted to know. But all right, we'll go from there to our cast list. We have Adrian, Will, and Kelly nominated yet again. It's a little bit different for final nominees, at least this time. We will not have Kelly competing, or we will have Kelly competing in the Blockbuster. So it's a battle of Blockbuster champions and Will in the Blockbuster this week. So who will win? Who will be defeated? Let's talk about this. So
Scenarios.
So I don't have a prediction for Blockbuster. If we're going off of most likely, maybe Adrian again. I don't know. Kelly's also won one though. I'm just gonna say, let's say if Adrian wins, we have Kelly and Will on the block come eviction time. I think this could be an interesting scenario, or like one that could really come down to the wire. So let's talk about this here. So the votes for let's say the votes to evict Kelly in this scenario. Who do we have? And like Joseph said in chat, we need 7 to evict. So to evict Kelly,
Who is she next to?
so Kelly would be next to Will in this case.
Okay.
So Kelly would have probably Ashley, Ava, Jimmy.
Catherine.
Catherine would vote out Kelly. We think that
Oh wait, to keep Kelly.
to evict Kelly.
Next to Will, I think she'd evict Kelly.
Maybe. So Keanu, I don't think would evict Kelly. Keanu seems, but I don't know. They also go back and forth. I don't know how Keanu feels about Kelly in this very moment. Morgan and Mickey would evict Kelly, right? And Rachel. Morgan, Mickey, Kelly
Yeah.
would all evict
Morgan,
Rachel.
Mickey, Kelly,
Rachel
yeah,
would also
Rachel.
evict Kelly. So that's
Yeah.
enough to evict Kelly at that point. So we might not even need
Yeah.
to count anymore from there. And also you have people like Zach and Adrian who want to keep Will anyway, it seems. So that's even more that Kelly would be gone. So we don't really have to worry about that one, I don't think. And if anyone in chat disagrees with me, feel free to. This is a very fluid house.
I low-key hope, call me crazy,
Crazy?
Kelly, you know, catches wind that, like, the guys are trying to keep the guys and not Kelly.
Yeah.
And maybe she wins the blockbuster and has a new mindset.
Yeah, I think Adrian and Will as final nominees would be also
It'd be
very
spicy.
very interesting to see how they want to pitch themselves. But and I think that would also be the most troubling, obviously, for the people that were pushing for, you know, Ashley to go on the block, especially Zach. I think Zach will have the toughest time really deciding, which I think he'll end up evicting Will just because he wants Adrian's comp ability. So maybe we should just count Adrian and Will now. So that would be Ashley. Who is she voting for? Who to evict?
Adrian and Will.
Adrian.
Adrian.
She's evicting Adrian.
Ava would evict Adrian.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Jimmy would evict
Adrian.
question mark.
No, no.
He
because
nominated
Morgan-
Adrian and Will, so it's like.
He nominated
Well-
both of them.
Morgan and
But towards the end of the week, I will
Mickey-
say Jimmy was very much saying maybe we should just take the shot at Adrian. So I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I feel like
evict
he would
Adrian.
probably evict Adrian.
well, and Mickey and Morgan would want Will to
Want
stay,
Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he would vote Will
So those
or
two
vote
too.
Adrian.
So Mickey, Morgan, Rachel also would vote for Adrian to leave.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
okay. So Adrian's gone probably too. Wait, that's six. So
That's 5.
Ashley, Ava, Jimmy, Morgan, Mickey,
Morgan,
Rachel.
Mickey, Rachel. That's 6.
Okay, so we need one more. Is there one
We
more in there?
We need one fucking more, actually. That's crazy.
So we have 6 versus, unless we think that Catherine would evict Adrian, but
Would Riley evict Adrian?
Riley, I think, would evict Will. Vince would evict Will. Zach would evict Will. So that's
Would
3.
Keanu?
Keanu, I
Keanu-
don't know. I think he would evict Will.
I think Keanu would evict Will.
Catherine, so Catherine and Riley, it comes down to Catherine and Riley again. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
So Catherine and Riley, I think, so Catherine and Riley, I feel like would be closely aligned with Zach on this vote more. And Zach would evict Adrian, Zach would evict Will, so they would evict Will, which would mean,
When it ties.
so it would
and
tie, and Lauren would have to break the tie, and Lauren in this case I think would evict Adrian. So
I think
Adrian
Lauren
could be
would
evicted on
literally
tie
have a
vote.
whole meltdown if
Yeah,
she
that, I
had
mean,
to
of
break
course,
tie.
this is Monday, but as of right now, I think that it could easily be a tie. But yeah, Joseph said, "Call me crazy, but I want it to be 6-6, and Lauren has to show her cards." Yeah, that would be. I would love it. I mean, I
so
would. Part of me
juicy.
wants Adrian to stay in this game, but also Adrian has not like proved himself to me to be the player that he definitely thinks that he is in the DR.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet yesterday that was like, "I love DR Adrian. I can't wait to meet him someday." So I thought that was perfect. But yeah, Adrian doesn't do anything that makes me want to keep watching him play. And Will is someone that I actually genuinely do want to see in a position where he has a little bit more power. Also, Adrian is not leaning on the side that I'm rooting for him. So if he,
Yeah.
Whenever he realizes that he doesn't realize
Yeah.
that he's the low man on the total poll on that side.
right. And I said Lauren would evict Adrian. Lauren would evict Will. In that case, I misspoke. But the case remains that she would be showing her cards, which is the important part of all of that. And then we definitively would have 2 sides of the house. And I really like that because of how much they looked at the vote from last week and we're trying to figure out like who is with who. if we had a tie vote, it would be, coming out of that would be insane. So that is the scenario I'd hope for it, and unfortunately, Will would be the sacrifice of that. So it's a trade-off of what we want in this game. But it's tough. But we do have other scenarios to talk about here with Jose. Let's talk about. So we said the Adrian and Will scenario. We also said did we say Ashley and Will scenario? So let's talk about Will wins the blockbuster, and we have Adrian and Ashley. Oh my God.
It was like,
Adrian and
Kelly's
Kelly.
not on the
Oh my-
block, but
I don't know why I'm saying we have too many people in this game. Still, is my problem.
So
we do.
Barrett really wanted Ashley nominated.
Not really. I find Ashley a little too entertaining. I think I find her more entertaining than most people do. I think she's just, I don't know, she's kind of fun TV to me.
I think she's good TV too.
So let's talk about Kelly and Adrian. Will wins the blockbuster. I don't know where
First
to go
off,
from
hell
here.
freezes over.
Yeah. It could happen though.
No, we gotta put it in there like they're like, oh, what's his name? Chemo's not gonna win the blockbuster, so
Yeah, we could have a Chemo moment for sure. And Chemo like destroyed everybody in that competition. Or he won the veto and the double, I think. But okay, so Will wins the blockbuster. We have Adrian and Kelly on the block. Ashley's voting for who? This is tough because I'm having to go into people's heads where I don't feel like I ever hear them talking about. Like,
She's gonna vote out.
or I guess maybe we should start here. Where's the trio probably of Morgan, Mickey, and Rachel, that voting block, going in this scenario? Are they voting out Kelly or are they voting out Adrian? I think this is a tough decision for them.
Adrian, because
Adrian's
of
a bigger
Rachel,
threat, probably.
Rachel making
But
up
yes.
with Kelly.
Adrian and Kelly both aren't fans of Rachel, is the problem. And both could easily put her on the block. Kelly's just way more vocal about it. So if they viewed in terms of that, they could just get rid of Kelly. But Adrian is still in this like kind of phase. And he's not fully on the side of
Nick,
Zach.
is he cutting out for you?
It was for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Am I here? Am I good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
fine.
Okay. I don't feel that Adrian is fully on the side of the house that falls in line with like Zach and Vince and Catherine and Riley and Lauren at this point. And I'm not even saying that is a side yet. I'm just saying that seems to be the way that this game could go with this vote, or the way that people keep talking this game, especially. But he does seem more on that side than not.
Nick.
So
Is it happening to you again?
Yes, but every time you say it, it stops. So
No, it was happening.
I'm getting the Wi-Fi thing in on the
See, it's
stream,
happening now.
So I'm assuming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second Zach is gonna
Okay,
say
y'all
something,
talk
it's
about
gonna stop.
Adrian. Yeah, y'all talk about Adrian then. Where do you think he stands in the game?
Well, I think Adrian has that like threat level attached to him to an extent. Like you were saying earlier, Barrett, like Jimmy was contemplating like, should we just take the shot at Adrian? I feel like if Adrian is on the block next to Kelly, they're gonna want to take the shot at Adrian. That's how I see at least the Morgan, Mickey, Jimmy, Rachel people wanting to vote. Because Kelly is way less of a threat, in my opinion. And I also think, too, like I was saying earlier, if the guys try to save Adrian and they vote Kelly, and then the girls save Kelly, that'd be crazy of Kelly to go back to Kelly and the guys after they all just voted you out, girl. Like,
She would.
and she would. I know she would, because she's dumb. But I don't know. I think it could be interesting. I think this is definitely going to be an interesting Thursday episode now because of this.
Yeah, I agree. And I know, like, are we gonna have a cliffhanger on the end of Wednesday's episode after 9 minutes?
Who will win the power?
Yeah. So if they do that after 90 minutes, I'm gonna be so mad. Please, for the love of God, Big Brother, show the ceremony
Oh, no.
at the right time. or that you normally would, and then showed the aftermath, so we have more time to deal. I just please. But from there, I know I see the faces you're making, and I have an idea of why you're making them.
Kelly and
Still nothing? Wow, this is so sad. Let me know when I'm back, I guess, and then I'll keep talking.
you're back.
Is it really?
Yeah, you're.
Okay, good.
No, you're
okay.
good.
While I got my time, before I go away again. This is bad. I hate that this is like.
Oh my god! It's like the second you start speaking.
It's literally. It's like my like waiting for the most important times to do it. Is it for the people that are watching though? Is it happening to Zach and Nick too, or is it just me? Is it just me every time that has to deal with this? Because I would love to know. After the cast reveal, where it like, I don't know what's gonna happen anymore when the internet starts going out. So I'm curious. But you know what? I desperately want to move on from this because I think this is the curse that's keeping me from having a good connection. But say this, so it will be interesting on Thursday's episode now, regardless. And I'm tired, and I want to move on.
Okay. We can move on. Are we gonna? We can talk about the comps though. The comps have been pretty good.
Talk about the competitions. And I know when I see y'all freezing, it's happening. And every time I talk and y'all laugh, just feels like I'm being bullied. I want you all to know that you're being really mean to me. Okay. We can talk about the competitions, or I can just end the fucking stream at this point.
We can talk about the competitions.
I want to talk about how they brought back my girls.
Yeah,
They did. They did bring
Felicia
back your girls.
and the Nolan twins.
Yeah, we had Felicia, like I mentioned earlier. We had the Nolan twins in last night's episode for the Twin Witness News, which I know people are like, why did they bring back the Nolan twins? But they did bring them back. So I think this is interesting that we keep bringing back alum, whether to play in the game or whether to just simply host competitions. So I wonder if that will
I'm
just
here
keep
for it.
going on. And I wonder if that's like the 25th anniversary of the show starting, like kind of celebration, or if this is just like we feel like we just want to do this year since we have someone playing that a former player playing. But yeah, it's cool. Who is y'all's? What did y'all enjoy about that? Because obviously Felicia had a bigger, I think, acting role than Liz and Julia did. Probably for a lot longer too. With her, I don't remember her other names that she had besides Creeper. But
Yeah, me neither.
Are we just gonna brush by the fact that they literally were playing a peeping Tom challenge?
Yeah, I don't think we should just brush by that. Yeah, we've had the Peeping Tom challenge. We had like the ACAB challenge, HOH or whatever. We had the yeah, I don't know what. So
What other?
so the other game last night was just Liz and Julia recounting a horrible, like something that happened to them, a crime, and them just talking at the same time about it, which wasn't
Yeah.
a lot
you,
to it,
like,
but
Chat saying, do you know the reference?
or of like what?
Like there was
Twin Witness News.
those twins that were like on the news and they were like finishing each other's sentence of like what happened with like.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Oh really? You have like it's like it was. People were making fun of it. I don't know if it was real or not, but it was like these two twins and they were like finishing each other's sentence of like something like really horrible that like happened, and it was like a news story thing.
Yeah, I didn't know
But it
that.
was like the same thing like that, but like actually in real life, essentially.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to see that video then.
I saw something bad about them that I didn't.
Yeah. A lot of chatter last night. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
But
I like to look past that part of them. I don't know.
I think they look fine. Like
Oh, you're talking about something else. Okay.
Yeah, why are you? Yeah, okay, we're on different pages apparently. But
I think they look fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they've. It's been a while since What are they up to now? Obviously, they're not on the challenge or anything, but
what were
I
the
don't
veto
really-
competitions that we had in the last couple of weeks?
what other veto competitions?
Yeah, we talked
Uh,
about Keanu and Casey's veto competition.
What was the first one? Oh my gosh.
The first veto competition was
The one that Ashley won. I forgot what they did exactly.
What was it?
what did they do? I already forgot what they did with the veto.
Oh my god.
If someone can help us out, but I know for sure that they had for the HOH comp, we could talk about that, where we won our 4 powers, where it was just them in the dark crawling around looking for all of these objects that they then had to walk through a tunnel in a different room to get back to the original spots, and they're just yelling at each other like, is this the original room? And walking past all of the things that they would need for the power-ups. But what did y'all think about that HOH competition? I know there's like 3 extra powers. Do you think that would have worked as a fun competition even with just the 1 power, or do you think it would have been too quick at that point to even use it as an HOH like that?
I mean, I'm glad she didn't use it, and I'm kind of glad that the other ones kind of just were like in and out. You know, I hate when they introduce
Yeah.
powers. Those ones weren't even like crazy. I still think Zach has like the best one in the game, but and Zach actually
Oh, the
didn't tell
smelling
anybody about
comp.
it, but I just
Yeah.
remember them being
The
just the
POV
best,
was the
like,
smelling comp.
campers. And
That's right. I didn't like that one. That's
Yeah.
definitely my least favorite comp of the year so far.
yeah, I didn't like that one either.
Or the freaking what do they
But
call
yeah,
it before? The Whacktivity comp.
I don't know. The Whacktivity comp. Oh my god. Whacktivity, Roadkill, Takeover.
Battle of Block.
The Bad Camp one. I don't know.
But I don't know, the big black box, like I'm just like, I don't know why, but it feels like before they used to be better. Like I kind of like, never mind, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to bring it up. I kind of like what they did on one season where they had to go through and try
You
to find
saying I'm not
discs.
going to bring it up is the same thing as you bringing it up, though. That's the thing.
Where they had to go
Yeah.
try to find discs every few hours or something, or every time segment or something like that.
Oh. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that one. But the competition have not been
remember
bad by any means.
that.
The blockbuster comps that we've had so far have simply been the puzzle from Thursday, and then last week we had, I know it probably happened
tiara.
to Kelly. Kelly with the tiara and the
Also-
emphatic slam.
How did were y'all able to solve that?
I do not understand that competition till this day.
No,
Like
yeah.
I have no idea what they did,
Yeah.
what they had to do, how Kelly knew to grab the. I literally was lost while I was watching that.
Yeah, it seemed like we were supposed to be able to see the other screen, I think.
Mhm.
While they were like, I think you had to see all of them at once, and we just weren't able to see all of them, so it was kind of like Kelly randomly
Well-
figuring it out at a certain point.
Well, yeah, because I thought you had to see all 3 of them and get 3 items, not just one.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, she's just putting down one, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Nah, it was just one. I mean, it was kind of just like last year when they were like, I think last year they had like the 3 that they had to get the paintings or whatever that they were flashing.
Yeah, they
had to, like,
were-
yeah.
match the
I
3
remember
paintings
that because it was
won.
Chelsea.
Um,
Yes. Uh huh.
Because it was like hamburger, bouquet, butterfly, or
Unicorn
something.
Beach and
Yeah, it was like
yeah, it was
random
weird
crap.
stuff like that. So I mean, overall, I'm not too upset. I think apparently the veto this week that Keanu won was very strength oriented. So I don't know, maybe we'll have
Oh,
different
of
thoughts
course.
about the equity at the comps after that. But or even just last week if you want to talk about that equity.
It's a D&D
in
it's a
that
D&D comp.
competition because Yeah. I did want to point out Kelly's like running that she did in the veto comp with Casey Clark. Like when their first round when Kelly got out, you know what I'm talking about? Where she didn't hop, she just kind of like ran. She like tried to shuffle her way to the button. Especially on the slow-mo replay. Forgot to mention that. But
Yeah, and then people were saying
yeah,
like, if
good
you're gonna
comp so
throw,
far.
if you're gonna throw a competition, don't make it this obvious or something. And it's like, I really don't think she was throwing it.
I think she just thought maybe I can run. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be
okay.
it'd be in line with much of her thinking.
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. Okay, do we want to talk about winner picks now?
Sure.
If I can talk about it, I don't know if I'm interrupted. Just pretend that I said something really good.
Oh, can also go through the draft too.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about our bracketology score updates. But I picked Zach for week 1. I could easily pick Zach again, I think. It'd be kind of boring, but I might stick with it just because he's given me no reason to think that he won't at least be at jury, whether that is 7 or 9. Because he has a power all the way up until jury, which makes me think it's going to be 9. And I saw someone say they would not have a shorter jury if they thought that if they thought that it wouldn't give Rachel a better chance of staying on the whole show. So I was like, yeah, actually, that may be the only definitive proof that we need to see that it is 9. So with Zach getting to the jury pretty much guaranteed at this point, assuming just with his social standing, I would have a heart like. It would have to be crazy to see him get evicted with that power that he has locked down too, with it being able to be used up until the veto ceremony. I just think he's going to be fine. And he's one of the few people that I can say that about right now. So I'm going to stick with Zach. And it's 3:00, and that means Colton just got off work. So Colton, welcome to the chat. We're glad you're here. I'm canceled. So Zach is going to be my pick again. Keep it short and sweet. Next up, Zach, you had Lauren as your winner pick from week 1. Are you sticking with Lauren, or is there someone new that you would like to choose?
I'm gonna stick with her. I mean, this may be a bad week, but I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, she can bounce back.
Okay, so far 2 for 2. We're sticking with our winner picks. Lauren's. I'm honestly surprised you stuck with Lauren. But
I am too.
Nick, your first winner pick was Morgan. I think that's a great pick still. Are you going to stick with Morgan?
I'm actually not. I'm gonna go with my girl, Catherine.
Catherine
Shut
would be
up.
good. I don't even think Catherine would be that bad of a pick.
I'm realistic, okay, and I don't want to just pick Catherine just because I stand her. I still really stand Morgan a lot. She is my favorite outside of Rachel. I was thinking of changing, but at the same time, so I was thinking of changing to Mickey. I'm not going to. And the reason being because Mickey cannot keep her mouth shut. So I will be locking in on sticking on Morgan for now.
Okay.
Because I still see her as a very decent option.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick at all. I think she is good with, I know we're not saying two sides of the house. And I know someone said Vince and Jimmy were celebrating Adrian being on the block earlier. Like, Vince is going to celebrate anything that someone brings to him. I don't read that as anything. But yeah, I think Morgan's got a good, like, bridge between those two kind of sides while also being, like, really close to Zach still, who I think is going to be very important down the line. The thing is, though, Zach is not as into Morgan as Morgan is into him. So that may also play a factor. Shocker, I know. But, okay, so... Well, that was a fun winner pick session. But I think I'm honestly surprised it was going to be that consistent. But I'm happy we did that. I can't wait to see how much it changes in a week. Because I think it could easily change or can completely flip our winner picks just in the span of 7 days or whenever we're podcasting next. I don't know.
7 days.
All right. I had that. What else did I have on the agenda for this podcast?
Bracketology.
Bracketology. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that next. We talked about the competitions. Oh my God, we talked about so much. It's not even 2 hours. How do we do that?
We're efficient, Barrett.
That's right. Pulling up bracketology right now. If you didn't know this, me and Zach and Nick, we didn't do a proper draft, but we did do the bracketology app. So we're picking 5 players every single week. There is a point system involved with all of that. So I'm not going to go down the list of how much points you get for certain things, but I will read you our current scoreboard, which is me still in the lead. Look at me go with 317 points. Second place right now is Nick. And then in last place, sorry, Zach, with 230 points, but a lot of room to bounce back, and a lot of season yet to be played. So my week 3 picks, and I would love for y'all to recap your week 3 picks, are Adrian, Ava, Lauren, Mickey, and Zach. So I picked the HOH. Mickey and Adrian have 18 points this week for some reason. I don't really know what went into that, and I don't really care to look at the breakdown exactly. But I did pick the HOH. So Nick and Zach, and who's doing good for y'all right now?
I mean, I'm in second, so I'll go next because Zach's in last.
Yeah.
So I have Ava, Catherine, Lauren, Morgan, and Rachel. And Lauren has gotten me plus 39, which is incredible. Rachel has given me plus 16, and Morgan has given me plus 12. And then Catherine's the only one that's not doing too well for me this week, and she's given me minus 5. But overall, really good week for me to just stick with my girls. So I'm happy.
I agree. Zach, who did you pick?
So for me, I have Ashley with -1 point, Jimmy with 0 points, Mickey with plus 18, Morgan with 12, and Rachel with 16. And just for reference, that 18, a big jump, is you get a point for each a point for each person that house guest beats in an ordered HOH/Power of Veto competition.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Morgan lasted a while in that. I mean, Mickey. And so did Rachel. I was almost going to pick Lauren, but I didn't. Ugh. And because I get a lot of points for winning HOH.
So Zach
And
living
plus-
with a lot of regret this week.
Yeah, I know.
What
But
could've been?
and Ashley freaking, because someone referred to her as a threat or being a target, and then she got last place in a competition.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I didn't even think about getting last place in a competition. That would definitely hurt you. But
Yeah.
okay,
But
well, not
plenty of time.
not the worst. Yeah, even far worse than being in last place.
It also didn't help that freaking last week I picked Amy. So
Yeah. Amy's gonna be one of those house guests we think about for a while, I think, and how much we hoped for versus what ended up happening. But that happens every year, Okay, we've got our winner picks. We've got our current standings for our own draft. Not much else to talk about, I'm afraid. The DR count is something I did want to bring up because I forgot to do that last week.
do you have the graphics?
I don't have the link, but I don't know if y'all.
You have Instagram?
I do. Where do I need to go?
Big Brother data base.
Big Brother database. Okay. Like Big Brother, all spelled out, not just like Big Brother or Big Bro.
Mhm. Or
Big Brother database. Oh, I see. You follow them.
yes.
Oh, is it the one? Oh, yeah, the one from yesterday. Duh. Oh, this is a different looking list that I'm used to. Let me hold on. I'll get it in just a second. Everyone stop yelling at me. All right. Here is our DR count. I know this is a big tab too.
That's not the DR count.
Wait. Oh, this is just their poll. No. There we go. I was one away. Here we go. Diary Room counts for episodes 1 through 7. It's a couple days ago, so this does not include last night's. Keep that in mind. But if we look here, Jimmy is in the lead with 66 before last night's episode. At the bottom was Lauren with 8. Obviously, Lauren winning the HOH is going to bump her up above Catherine here, also at 8 at the very bottom.
My girls.
So Lauren going to make a jump. Riley's there at the bottom with Riley and Catherine both being at the bottom and being like tied to each other right now is crazy. And we didn't talk about Riley any on this podcast, and I think that's probably for the best because I don't think we have a lot of nice things to say about him. But just know Riley's being the same as he was last week, I would say, when we talked about him. Just like a lot more instances of concerning things that he has been saying. But nevertheless, Riley is also there still in the game, not doing very much besides being kind of strange at times. And that's probably the nicest way I could put it. But there we go. Jimmy, the star of the show. Vince not too far behind him. Keanu, of course, up there. We also didn't talk about Keanu's... we didn't talk about the veto ceremony too much. I did point out his I'm taking you all out one by one. Just awful stuff from Keanu all around in this game. Everywhere he goes. Rachel, of course, up there. A little surprised that Rachel has so much less than Jimmy or even Vince. But we see Zay. Zach, you pointed this out. Zay even had 20, while Lauren and Catherine. I mean, you can combine Riley and Catherine's DR counts, and it would only equal Zay's at this point. So but we have that also seemingly every season, and I can't remember who was just never on the show last year.
Rubina.
Just being like, maybe. Rubina? Yeah, Rubina definitely did get shown, which was crazy for how close she was to Tucker. But there we go. We have the DR count. We've accomplished pretty much everything I think I wanted to accomplish in this show, in this podcast. Is there anything else that y'all wanted to talk about before we kind of wrap up here and leave our predictions to Thursday?
Will we be here on Thursday?
I kind of like this Monday afternoon podcast though we just did, to be honest. Thursdays are fun. I can't say that right now, to be honest. I like Thursdays, but at the same time, it's a lot of coordination, whereas I feel like I still have my whole day ahead of me right now, which is weird. So I think we'll just have to talk about that. So I can't confirm or deny anything for Thursday. I do want to post like an extra thing just because I feel bad for missing last Thursday after being like, we're doing it. So, yeah, don't make promises you can't keep is exactly what Jameson said, and that's perfectly accurate. I should have said no to Thursday outright. I should have known that I wasn't going to get off work in time and just said no, but here we are. So I won't promise you Thursday right now, but Music Bites likes the afternoon midweek podcast because they're unemployed. Rachel has some thoughts about that. But yeah, I like it too. I kind of like not having to worry about the episode and coordinating all of that. So we can talk about all of that later. We don't need to discuss it right here. But definitely keep up with us in whichever way you can to know if we're going live on Thursday or not. Some of you may still see that we're going live on Thursday, though, and then be like, why didn't they show up at all? Which was my mistake on Thursday. So that's my bad. All right.
Had to go film Riley's at-home segment.
Yeah, I was 30 minutes from Riley's hometown, actually, working at a rodeo, weirdly enough.
He ran into his baby mamas.
Okay. Zach, I won't make you do the preview for next week this time around. You get the week off. So... Or I guess the upcoming thing. So we'll just go ahead and skip to Islands in the Stream and wrap up here our iconic daytime podcast. I don't remember the last time that we had a daytime podcast was. I almost had a hotel podcast on Thursday, which would have made it the first one since BB21, where Cliff won the battle bag competition. That would have been that time. Was the last time we did a hotel podcast. But oh, hey Roxy. Islands in the Stream summoned Roxy to the chat, everybody. Everyone say hi to Roxy. All right.
Roxy, who's your winner pick?
Yeah, we'll see if Roxy makes one. everybody, thank you so much for being here. If you're in the chat watching us live or just here after the fact, thank you so much as always. If you want to subscribe to the channel, if this is your first time, if you want to like the video, that would be fantastic. If you want to keep up with us in any way, we have a Discord if you want to chat with us. We have a Facebook group. We're on Blue Sky and we're on Twitter, and Zach's like super famous on TikTok or something. I don't know. So if you want to follow any of us on any of those platforms, those links are all in the description below. If you want to send in questions, clips, whatever have you, we love it. So do that, and we'll be back either on Thursday or next Monday afternoon if we're really feeling it. Who knows when we'll be back at this point, but be sure to keep up with us to do all of that, to watch us live if you want to chat, or just to keep up with us in general. I think that's all I got to say. So Nick, Zach, thank you so much for being here. Zach, say the thing that you always say, and let's get out.
Coming to you live. Perception is reality. Our reality.
Goodbye, everybody.
Was that a good line?
Yeah, that was a